Alright, hello everyone and welcome to another weekend at Loka's, and this is, well, something I guess. It's the first season for Battlefield 2042, and hello Guten Tag Country Balls. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, last time I played this, that was about half a year ago. Hello, Sack Place. What's up? It's fine. It's fine. And yeah, I've got some bonus people with me today, which is a really odd way of saying I got guests today. No other than Apprentice 1215.
Battlefield 0 hour, more like 0 players, ha.
Oof.
Shut up.
I'm sure someone on the internet has. I'm
so
sure
bitter.
someone on the internet has made that joke. I'm sure someone has.
Actually, you say that. Someone said the new season accurately sums up my playtime with Battlefield 2042.
Yeah, see, I knew someone was gonna. Someone somewhere has probably made a crack
which was actually like,
name.
which kind of got me to laugh, which I hate to say.
I mean, that one is funny, and we're also
That
joined
one's
by
funny.
Daxacorp.
Yeah, this is the stream where I finally pee on stream.
I'm sorry, what?
As for my thread of last stream we did, either on Prince's channel or your channel, links are probably in the description. I don't know. There's your plug. You're welcome.
Were we? But hold on. Were we even streaming at that point, or were we just playing? I can't even remember.
I don't remember.
It's in one of my videos, so it's captured.
Yeah.
But I can't even remember if we were streaming or not. Well, I think we may have just been playing in that particular session.
I can't remember. I can't remember.
I don't even remember the event you're referring to.
It's when he got up to get a drink of water. You could hear the water going into the glass as he was talking, and I was delirious because I was on little sleep at that point. I needed to go to bed, so I mistook the pouring of the water into the glass as him using the bathroom, and we could hear. Yeah, it's in my most
now
recent
I remember
Battlefront 2 video. Yeah.
And
It's like, are you going to the bathroom? It's like, ew, no, I'm getting a glass of water. I'm like, oh, okay, just checking, because I never know with you.
Now remember that. and no Guten Tag, no one has died. And speaking of Daxter going on about people, I'm gonna read this comment from Sack Place. Can we just congratulate the one developer working on this game? He pulled through and gave us one map after 7 months. I mean, you're not wrong.
Yeah, shoutouts to like the
the skeleton crew.
Shoutouts to the most skeletonist crew to ever skeleton.
Here, let me. This most skeletoniest crew that ever skeletoned.
Thank you.
I think that's what you're going for.
Sure. His name, Skeletor. Which, by the way, we can now make Skeletor in Destiny 2.
And then there's Guten Tag chilling in a closet. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah,
It's roughly the same size as the Seinfeld 2 team.
Yeah, there's some poor guy at DICE named Gunter, and he's the only one working on it, just kind of in the corner. There's not a lot of light. He's having to use his phone flashlight to light his keyboard so he knows how to type, knows what to type.
And then all that gets sent over to Ripple Effect.
Yeah,
because it's the only guys who are actually working on it.
Yeah,
The American rejects.
At least he's getting shouted out.
Yes, yeah, the patch guy. Yeah. Patch guy. Yeah.
The mountains on this map look exactly like the mountains of Monte Grappa from BF1. You know, I actually saw someone comparing this with, I think it might have been Monte Grappa. It was one of the Battlefield 1 maps, at least. And I'm like,
I can see that, but it's only in the fact that there's just this level of verticality
Yeah.
But I think it's expanded upon enough to where it's like I can see I would say they took inspiration from Monte Grappa and just went even further with it with the inside parts.
Yeah, so far based on what I've played, this is a better version of Monte Grappa because I just don't really like the maps in Battlefield 1.
You just don't like the gunplay. Wait till it comes over to Battlefield Portal, which it never will.
Well, see, actually, yeah, I would actually love to see some of the Battlefield 1 maps in Battlefield Portal with better guns. I think that would be...
It's already starting good.
Yeah.
You're also getting the low poly.
This is on the best Battlefield game. Way to go, guys.
Low poly graphics.
Where's the...
I really am playing on last gen.
Yeah. And, okay.
Get up!
That's an Osprey doing a thing. Yeah, it's... sometimes I feel like I should have a soundboard where I can just pull out something like, say, the 2042 theme, but with the crappy flute playing, like.
Like the Jurassic
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I should have. Oh boy.
The PG way of saying it is it's poopy fluted. And that's actually what the genre of music is called. It's still better than mumble poetry,
Loka.
which, by the way, is now crap. What was it? I saw because video game music is now being accepted into the Grammys.
Oh,
its own category, along with mumble rap albums.
Okay, maybe science has gone too far.
I am not joking, and it said it does not have to have music.
That doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Let me go get it. It was in Golden Bolt's Discord, so you guys have no idea. We also yelled at length about some sort of video game remake happening about some popular Sony franchise.
Oh, The Last of Us Part 1.
Yeah.
Oh, dang it.
I still don't know how to feel about that. I've heard that they're going to be redoing the combat, and from the sounds of it, the combat was kind of okay at best in The Last of Us.
Whee! The combat's great in The Last of Us. I don't know what anyone else is talking about.
Compared to Part 2?
I still haven't played Part 2, actually.
Okay.
But
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I have it installed on my PS5 and everything. I just haven't played it. I still need to finish Horizon Forbidden West.
Same.
Good.
Ow.
I've been done with that for ages.
I'm surprised you even played it to begin with. I didn't think you got
it. I didn't!
Oh, okay. Yeah, that
I decided to play the better version. It's called Killzone. You might not have heard of it. It's not very mainstream.
You joke, but you're also correct. I don't think Killzone's very mainstream at this point.
Nope.
I cry myself into a corner every time I think about the forgotten Sony first-person shooters, like the ever-present MAG.
Oh boy, oh boy.
And EVE Online, or whatever, Dust 514, that's what it was, or
I have indeed played Battlefield 4, yes.
Yeah,
sorry, that was a response to a question.
Yeah, I got that.
We've all played 4.
This rocket launcher
we
is
all
not
played
powerful.
the best Battlefield Hardline, and no, I will not be taking any questions.
So you'll refuse to elaborate?
Exactly, I don't need to.
Walks in, goes, Battlefield Hardline is the best Battlefield
Drops
game.
mic.
Refuses to elaborate, leaves, and I'm like,
yeah.
What? That was a weird jump.
That's Daxter's I am Iron Man moment.
Yeah.
The crowd stands up, movie ends.
Applauding, or cursing, because I didn't say Battlefield 1 or 5 now is apparently a safe answer.
Life. Okay, I officially like the new DMR.
How long have you been playing, Prentice?
What do you mean?
Did you fully unlock the DMR?
I played for an hour and a half this morning. It is literally the first thing on the Battle Pass.
I need to check that.
Yeah, it's the first thing on the battle pass.
What?
Ooh, Zach plays as a better one. Battlefield Heroes.
Oh!
Ah! Okay, I knew he was behind us somewhere.
That's a skin! If we don't stop them, they'll take every sector. The DM7, is that what you're using?
Yeah.
That's been in the base game forever.
Oh, has it? See, I just usually don't even look at that weapon.
Yeah, no,
that
it's
weapon
got
category. So
outside of the V-car, it's got the highest rate of fire out of all the DMRs. Well, I guess I say that. Now I guess there's only 4, so it's like this nice middle of the road. Think like it's like the M5 for DMRs, and the close combat makes it a real beast, and you get that at like 60 kills. I'm currently trying to get the SVK, the heavy.
Yeah, I see it here. It is weapon skin. You're right. I'm dumb.
It's okay. We've all made mistakes. Except for me.
Our troops have captured Sector Charlie.
There's a gnome.
You found a gnome? Where?
I thought it was like an elf.
No, it's a charm for your gun.
Oh, okay,
charm.
That one. I thought you had found a Easter egg or something glorious like that.
No.
But no, it's just a charm.
Yeah.
How disappointing. Anyway, speaking of disappointments, and maybe in this case not disappointments, how do you feel about this new map so far?
It's amazing. It's really good. I love the idea. I don't think I fully understood how much I really wanted verticality in a Battlefield map.
We've got plenty of fight left. They're hitting hard.
It's stupid, right?
Sector Charlie is across your control.
But that's what I like about like Siege of Shanghai and.
Yeah, no. See, that's what I liked about like the beta came out, and despite it being a rocky beta with technical issues and stuff, I'm like, okay, this is way better than anything 1 or 5 had to offer. It's not, and everything's not flat.
I mean, it's honestly, yeah. That one actually, I always thought it was just the urban setting I liked, but no, there's something about it.
I like urban settings too, though.
Yeah, urban is better than rural. Fight me. Run. So I guess I don't know who has the most time in this game.
Me? Question mark? I've got like 20-ish hours.
What's your level?
Somehow I think I might have gotten that beat, which is ironic, considering I'm the one that likes this game the least of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Granted, as I've said, I think it was when
I found the scoreboard
when we tried playing Lego Star Wars the first time around. Sometime after you had left, me and Dexter talked a little about Battlefield 1, and I said that even though I don't really care that much about this game, I do still hop on from time to time whenever I see.
I'm a level 47.
Whenever I saw some sort of
83
weekly reward or a portal mode that I went, oh, that would actually be fun to play or have or make or get footage of. So I have sunk in some playtime, and also I think in a sense of, okay, I'm really trying to wrap my head around this game. I'm like trying to figure out why I don't like it, as opposed to both of you. And going back to the map, to the new map, I played it. I played it for the first time yesterday, and
I think we all did, or except for maybe.
I mean, it literally launched yesterday. And
I played it for the first time as if it were yesterday.
And
it was yesterday.
And for the first time, when I played this game, I had one of those moments where I started at a certain time, and then a few matches went by, and I looked over at the clock and saw, oh geez, that's
Hours.
yeah, that's a couple of hours later, because this map is actually good, and I think that's really, and not just that it's good, but I'm gonna start with the fact that it's a good map as opposed to the other maps, because I've never liked any of the base maps. I've all found them to be very badly designed in a lot of ways. Like the main point of contention, I suppose, has been the openness, and I don't have a problem with open. I just have a problem when it's big open flat spaces with literally nothing going on in them. And that's why I had the opposite reaction when I played the beta. It's like, okay, there's this tower building and there's the rocket at the other end, but other than that, there's literally nothing going on with that map.
I
when you get to the PS5 version, I do think, like the next gen version, there is more going on. There's a cryogenic plant south of the map.
Well, see, I don't like the larger version of that map. I prefer the smaller one that's on the PS4.
Personally, I have come around to. So, sorry, I'm not trying to backtrack on my statement. I think the PS4 version is overall a better experience, but a lot of people, at least whenever I play that map recently, they love going towards that cryogenics plant for some reason. The battle seemed to shift from B1, the giant tower, to the cryogenic plant, which didn't make any sense to me. Like,
people got tired of fighting over the tower.
Yeah, it's the weirdest thing. Like like the entire player base has shifted how it plays this game.
Finally, I destroyed a vehicle with this thing.
And they've also made some smart changes, I think, to help how maps are played. For example, Angel does it again. He doesn't gain armor for himself, only ammo.
Oh, when did they make that change?
I don't know. I noticed it whenever I started playing last week. Yeah.
Okay, I was about to say, I played maybe 3 weeks ago and he was still able to do that, so...
Yeah, it's fairly recent, which helps. Now, Angel is still probably the most valuable, but he can't give himself gadget ammo, so that's at least better. What are you looking for?
Oh, I guess you can't self-destruct the rocket on the new specialist.
I've had trouble. Yeah.
But yeah, like...
they've started making some smarter changes to all the specialists. Sundance no longer has her EMP grenade. It's just the tracking and the... Because nobody didn't... When you're playing Sundance, did you ever use EMP?
Yes.
Who's Sundance?
The one with the wingsuit.
Oh, see, I haven't even touched her. I've basically stuck to Boris, and that's basically it.
Boris is great. They changed how Irish's shoot-down sentinels work, or at least they changed it. It's no longer like a flat like Malusi's little spider trap. It's more like a bouncing Betty a trophy system in COD. So it's on like a tripod now, so it's easier.
Oh,
to see.
Really? It missed?
Same with the they did the same thing, or at least a similar thing with the
oh, he got killed by
deploy beacon.
my identical
at least for
twin.
2042.
What?
They basically just changed what it looks like. That's all. I don't think they made any like super Jurassic weapon changes. Everyone started using
Wait, whoa, hold on. Slow it down. Slow it down. You heard it too, Loka?
Yeah, I heard it. Okay. I heard it.
You said they haven't made any Jurassic weapon changes instead of drastic weapon changes.
Shut up! I have dinosaurs on the mind.
No, it's totally fine. We're not really making fun of you. Well, I mean, we kind of are. But
Yes,
we're not,
you are.
And we're not doing it maliciously.
I know. Hush, 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 shut. I have to revive friends now. Oh yeah, sorry. I think I've talked too long. Please steal the spotlight from me.
Sure. But yeah, I just haven't liked any of the maps because there's, I don't know, like how I described. I can't even remember the name of the map because that's just how.
Antarctica.
No, the space rocket one. Because I've just,
Orbital?
yeah,
Orbital.
that sounded about right because I've just not been enjoying any of the maps. With I think the only exception, and even then it's not necessarily that I think it's a good map. It's just that the least worst map, but the desert city map. And even,
Doha, yeah.
And even then, it's not necessarily because, oh, it's a good map. It's just that it has some of the things that I like in, say, I'm trying to remember the name.
Hourglass.
Yeah, Hourglass.
Yep.
It has a kind of like a similar base structure to it as I'm trying to remember the name of the map in 5. That was set in the French countryside with the.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to help you with that.
I think I know with that one like flower field.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about. I don't remember the name because I haven't played 5 in a very long time.
I never played 5 enough to know the map names.
I honestly played way too much Battlefield in general, so.
You say that as it's a bad thing.
I know.
Yeah.
Destiny 2, Battlefield, Rainbow Six Siege from now and again. Oh, I'm gonna start Alien Isolation. Nope, back to Destiny 2. Oh, Battlefield just did a thing. Let's do that.
Oh boy, that might have been
And the cycle repeats.
Hey, shooters are fun, yo.
Yeah.
I know. Actually, speaking of which, Alien Isolation, great game. I'm so scared that I haven't even gotten past the med facility. So, haha.
We've captured Sector Charlie. Get away!
But this map actually has good design because it has that verticality that, in terms of, comparing it with other 2042 maps, but it also, yes, it is wide open and everything like you'd expect a Battlefield map to be, but it's not just a flat open space with very few things in between. Like there is actually a fair bit of stuff going on with this map.
And there's also a close quarters. There's also a really good close quarters section.
And it also just got a good variety within the map as well.
Mm-hmm.
Since I mean I was up there and now I'm jumping down to this ravine bit that does play a lot differently, and especially if you go inside the tunnels where it's I'm not gonna lie, it's been borderline Operation Metro at times. Yep.
Oh, I had so many great Battlefield, like genuine Battlefield moments.
Yeah.
Playing this map.
Yeah. And
it was all. Sorry, it was all because I stuck with my teammates.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. Like, and I think the biggest problem with the 2042 maps is that they're just wide, super wide and super open. I think in a lot of ways to kind of work with a higher player count, even if it's like even when it's on. Apparently we're joined by Ghost.
Yeah, I was about to say that's new.
Mom, can we have Ghost? Can we buy Ghost?
No, we have Ghost at home. Ghost at home.
Oh, is it a player skin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know who would it be. Who would it be?
I think it will.
I think it. I saw that earlier. I think it was oddly enough. But yeah, and this map actually, and actually seems to take in mind, okay, maybe not just have big flat open field with almost nothing in. Like, let's actually put effort into the map design a bit more with, and that's also going to be interesting later down the line when they do some of the map reworks to see how much it adds. And that also goes to another point why I'm liking this map so much, and I think because it is so more well designed compared with previous maps, I'm honestly feeling that the specialists are kinda coming together on this map. They actually work well with the map, which is not what I was expecting.
Yeah. The situational ones work very well for this. Sundance can cover tons of ground and get to objectives faster than the rest of her friends. McKay can scale up really quickly instead of going out. You can do like a giant dozer push, like in B, C, and D, or that inner tube, basically. If you just get a bunch of idiots who want to use ballistic shields. Liss, just in general. Is it Liss? How do you pronounce her?
I think so.
Still trying to figure out if she's like Canadian or
I think she's
something.
Polish.
Yeah, and then everyone's just seems to work well.
Yeah, and that, like, it's so interesting and also equal parts frustrating. And I will probably get back on my on my negative anti-2042 train later on, but it is just, I don't know, like it just took one good map for everything to kind of like, okay, if all the maps in the base game had been of this caliber, I don't think the complaints would have been as big as they are. I don't think I would have had as big of an issue with them, and even then it's not really the specialists themselves, it's just kind of how they're implemented in the game.
Yeah, I know I've harped on this a lot, but I think a lot of these issues can just be traced back to EA basically requiring these games to be fall games and never allowing them. Hardline is the only game, the only Battlefield game, to my knowledge, that released in a spring time frame, and they delayed it because it needed more time. Every other.
Were they under budget? Were they not giving it a very positive forecast? What?
One of the original release dates unfortunately ended up coinciding with police shooting incident.
Yep.
And then it was delayed shortly afterward so I think it probably needed more time, and then that happened. That kind of gave them their excuse because of the unintentionally political nature of the game, of it being cops versus robbers. But every other Battlefield game is always released in the last decade or so, is always released in the fall, to my knowledge. So EA's insistence that these always be fall games, I think, really does kind of harm them, because DICE makes really good video games. It just takes them a while. So EA would just it would just be much better if EA just let them take their time and make a good video game, and then they wouldn't have to threaten to abandon a game after 6 months because no one's playing it because it came out broken and the map design wasn't good. Because I guarantee, maybe not.
If they treated DICE like they treat Respawn, I feel like this would be a whole different game.
Which is also weird, because I don't think Respawn has actually deserved any of the love that they get from EA, where DICE has over and over and over again, and they're constantly not given the freedom that they deserve.
It's the Boromir-Faramir situation.
but Respawn for some reason it just is the perfect child that gets all the freedom in the world when they whatever. But if this game had been delayed to March, then I am sure that a lot of the issues wouldn't, because for one, it probably would have worked on a technical level. On another, they would have had extra time to balance out the maps and figure out what was going on with them and realizing, okay, this maybe is a little open here. We should maybe shrink some of these areas, put more cover over here. They would have had more time to player test all that stuff instead of just going, I guess it's out now.
Yep. Counter argument. This game had
They shouldn't have made it a battle royale in the first place.
No, I was gonna say this game had 1 year longer of development compared with most Battlefield games.
Really?
Yes.
Counterpoint. It was. They were also adding like double the amount of players to the lobby size, so they had to like change up their entire design philosophy.
Well, I guess
compared to just switching from modern to old to not as old but still kind of old, or to cops and robbers.
Huh. Yeah, no, what I meant by it shouldn't have been a battle royale in the first place, I mean the original concept for this, the hard zone, or whatever the stupid name account for Hazard Zone was, it shouldn't have been that. That should not have been a priority in any way, shape, or form. I think Apex should be their battle royale. That's where they should put all their battle royale money into. Don't complicate an already complicated ecosystem.
Yeah.
Well,
please.
see, and that's another EA just kind of shooting themselves in the foot. Is I don't know, based on the information we have, if 2040, the original version of 2042 that was going to be a battle royale, I don't know if it was even meant to be a mainline Battlefield, and it was maybe just supposed to just kind of be more of this interesting battle royale spin-off. But then EA went, hey, it's been a while since we've had a mainline Battlefield game, better get another one out. So stop working on Battlefield 5 and Battlefront 2 and make us another mainline Battlefield game. It's like, well, we're already working on this battle royale thing. Well, make it something else now. So I mean, constant meddling from EA.
Yeah.
It's not going to help things.
Yeah, I do not envy the developers that had to work on this game. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry that they had to work on this. I know that sounds weird, considering that I actually like this game, but
the Russians have Sector Charlie.
It's a rough game, man.
I don't even think it's that rough. Battlefield 4. No. Battlefield 4 from the start has been a much rougher game than this. This has been a much better game in almost every way, shape, and form, except for like map design, than this game. And the fact that people treat Battlefield 4 to like this mythical status at this point, like it was a perfect game from the start. It's like, no, it wasn't. It turned into a good game, but you all treat Battlefield 4 as if this is the best thing that's ever happened in video games, and it's like people hated that. People hated the game for like months. It was broken for months.
But here's
like, and they brought it around, thankfully, but to where you can revere it. But it's like it had its issues, and so don't be looking back with rose-tinted glasses, going, oh, if only they just made Battlefield 4 2. And it's like, I mean, well, if they did that, then there would be then we'd not working when it comes out. Where this game actually did work for them. I mean, again, level design and operators on a technical level, it actually worked.
Well,
at least
barely.
It runs. It's still better than crashing and not being able to get into the single player
that's
campaign.
A lot of people. And that's also another thing I like about this map. It funnels the players better into the different objectives. Doesn't feel like a barren wasteland. Now, what I was gonna say in that when people compared it with Battlefield 4, like, yes, it was broken, but it at least this is the way I see it, and also based on how other people have framed it. But underneath it all, Battlefield 4 is just a great game. And I think to a degree the fact that they actually turned it around and even released content and everything, like people were still, at least to a certain degree, willing to put up with it more, because when it worked, it actually was a fantastic game in a lot of ways. And that's, at least for me, that's been the difference with this game, is that even if it was working flawlessly, there's just a lot of things about this that are kind of mediocre, like the gunplay, for instance, the sound design, destruction, where at least with 4, all of that was good and improved from BF3, whereas 2042 for me felt like several big steps backwards in a lot of ways. At least that's the difference for me when I'm looking back at BF4, and to be fair, I also didn't play it at start. I only played it like I actually did really like when I finally got into it. And even when I played a beta on the PS3, I felt that, okay, this is definitely better than BF3, and I still like BF3, although I wasn't as much in love with it as a lot of people seem to be.
The blue tinted glasses really do affect how the game plays.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess.
I wonder if anyone's made a mod to remove the blue.
They have. It's called Portal.
Oh.
Oof.
Bravo 1 is under attack.
And even then, I have noticed that they're missing a lot of guns. But then again, I'm not expecting them to port over every gun. I think that's asking a bit too much.
Ah! What? Okay.
Also, did you realize they disabled frag rounds for the shotguns in Battlefield 3 Portal?
I did, yes. I
Yeah, for sure.
a thing.
I mean, they disabled it in Battlefield 3 as well at some point, I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly. So, it's if anything, it's just accurate to the state the game was in when support ended.
Here, taste rocket. Or not.
So what do we think of the new operator, or specialist, or whatever the crap they're called?
I don't have her.
I've been playing as her during this entire match. I actually like the gadget. It reminds me of that rocket launcher from Nightfire.
Small? Oh, I was gonna...
That you shoot a rocket and then you get to control it. It's not too crazy out there. The only thing I'm wondering, can you equip another rocket launcher as your... You can't?
No, you cannot.
Okay, so they actually thought of that? Wow,
yes.
I'm shocked. I'm shocked.
I'm disappointed
because that was the first thing I thought of, like, oh boy. If you're gonna be able to equip a regular rocket launcher, that's not great.
See,
balance.
I feel like that's who the Colonel is going to be in Battlefield Friends. Is going to be the new op, and he's going to have 2 rocket launchers, and they're going to go, but you can't do that. It's like, yeah, I can, and he just blowing things up left and right.
My credit card says I can.
Oh wow, it's actually outlined as red. Holy crap! They actually thought this through. Sorry, I'm just surprised modern day DICE actually thought of something like this.
I'm not, because I think there's still a good dev team that is usually just shackled by EA's stupidity.
So I just want to clarify.
Nice. I like the word incompetence.
What I mean with modern day DICE is that it's been apparent since I think Battlefront 2 that a lot of people within the studio has left, and even more so after 5. And considering at least some of the design aspects for 2042, the one thing that makes me borderline angry is the fact with the whole jet ramming just when you've been spawned. Like, that's something they figured out years ago. How are you repeating that mistake? Yeah, they're as Zach Place is saying, that they're not the same team that made these older games, because a lot of the older devs have left since. Which, I mean, that to be fair, it's not exactly a uncommon thing within the games industry. I mean, I think one example that we're very familiar with would be Infinity Ward. Going from the OG ones to then when a lot of them left, and then we had Ghosts and Infinite Warfare, which wasn't as
the Dark
Times.
Yeah, not as good as the Modern Warfare trilogy. And then they essentially got the band together for 2019, and it's like, oh, lo and behold,
resurgence.
It's actually a resurgence, and I think to a degree there's something similar with that. Oh, he yeah, I figured that would be an example that we're like, yeah, that's something that we've brought up before.
Allied troops targeting Bravo 1.
Ah!
Oh no!
Sniped.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
Did you try to save me?
Yeah.
So I need to recommend this for you guys. M5A3 short machine gun with high damage.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
It is just a bullet squeezer.
Because I was about to say, I haven't used the M5 since like launch week.
I'm actually.
It's. I think the rate of fire on the M5 close quarters, like the reduced damage, the higher rate of fire, is like
you're not getting away this time.
70, 800 maybe. It turns it into 910.
Hit marker? But and also another thing is that they have made some improvements to the gunplay, and I think more importantly, how should I put it? The feel when bullets connect to your targets, because when the game first launched, I felt like that the weapons were constantly working against me, because even when I had like single fire mode, I would put my aim center and it's the first shot, and
okay, yeah.
I heard that was an issue for a lot of people, and that was something they actually addressed in this season.
Yeah, so they have made some improvements to particularly the gunplay and so. And as Prentice said, like they should definitely have delayed the game, and especially now since because I'm just flabbergasted by how EA continues to repeat the same mistakes with their live service games, especially since I don't think they've ever really had a successful live service game aside from Apex Legends and Battlefront 2 to a lesser degree. But
that's the closest, but it had such a terrible launch.
Yeah.
And the live service model did terribly for that. I'm sorry. There are very few games that can do live service well. All the others I just hate. Granted, I have bias. Destiny 2 is going to be one of the few I point towards that say, hey, this is good. The only reason why is because it's based off of an MMO structure.
I just now realized I have one of my socks on inside out.
Since when has that ever been an issue?
because there's the logo name on it, and I was looking at it. I'm like, oh, I can't read it. It's like, oh, it's because it's inside out. Huh? Look at that.
Show that to your coworkers. That'll get you a raise. I saw.
Well, I just got the new op, or specialist, whatever you want to call her. Specialist, because operators, that's Siege, of course.
Yeah, no, Destiny 2 is one of the very few live service games I actually like the live service model in. And that's only because it was refined from Destiny 1, which its base was an MMO.
Well, so here's something that I think, as an industry, the games industry needs to change, because
abusing its employees.
Well, yes, that's a big one. That's a pretty good one. But I don't think there is a single type of, because we say it's like, oh, this is going to be a live service game, but no one live service game is really like the other. They're a little bit more uniform now, as in like the last year and a half, 2 years, because it's like they all have battle passes now and stuff like that. But 3-4 years ago, they were all a little different. They did things kind of differently, and because Destiny and Battlefront 2 were both live service games, but Destiny and Battlefront 2 did things very differently. So I don't know if comparing like Battlefield's live service to Destiny's, oh look, they're doing it correctly in Destiny. Well, yeah, but that's besides them both being FPSs, they're like totally different, and they're doing different things with their continued support and new content that they get. Because Destiny has regular story expansions every year, and you get new planets and stuff, and blah blah blah, and all and ships and cosmetics and all this stuff. Okay, I shouldn't have mentioned cosmetics because Battlefield has that too. But
yeah,
there's all this other level of production that goes into adding new things to a game, like Destiny or the Division 2 or one of those games where Battlefront 2, it's like, well, here's Clone Wars era maps, here's something based on Solo, here's something based on the Rise of Skywalker. We got one story DLC in late 2017, in December 2017, after Last Jedi came out, and that was it. We got no more campaign after that, so that doesn't really count. And even then, I think the only reason that was DLC is that they couldn't finish it in time for launch. So I mean,
I still forget that was
Call of Duty. Yeah, Call of Duty is the same way, where it's like they give you a new battle royale map. There's new weapons that come in. There's new multiplayer maps. Different, again, still different from Destiny 2 or The Division, so I don't know so we call these their live service games, but they don't do things the same way, so I'm not sure it's really fair to compare them as like, well, why aren't they doing it this way? Because the way Destiny's doing it is not going to work for Battlefield. It's not going to work for Rainbow Six Siege even does things differently from Battlefield. Battlefield's live service is different from Call of Duty's live service a little bit. Is different from Rainbow Six Siege's live service. Is different from Destiny's live service. So it's like,
but they all have a similar theme. Like right now, the big one, thanks to a certain game that I absolutely despise, Battle Pass is unfortunately mainstream because Fortnite
exactly. Like I said, they're all a little more uniform now, but they still have a lot of big differences in like the base model of what content they deliver. So there should be different expectations based on that, I think.
Yeah,
I just think live service is terrible for getting maps out in a multiplayer game.
I disagree with that.
Yeah, Modern Warfare 2019 would like to have a word with you.
Okay.
Because would you rather $15 would you rather $15 map packs?
Well, now that I have disposable income, yeah. I have actually thought about that.
Well,
if I've got disposable income, I think I'd rather. Ow.
I mean, I have seen that a very similar sentiment. Also, just to quickly address a question about if I could stream some Battlefield 4 in a future stream. I mean, sure, why not? It's
I'd
not
be
it's
100%
not
still
off
have
the
it
table.
installed.
Me too.
I don't have it installed, but it's definitely not off the table as far as I'm concerned. I mean, anything goes, really.
Oh, sorry. And then we also got Hardline. We can try to find at least one other living being playing.
You know, Hardline servers, every time we go to play, they're still pretty full. So
Yeah.
It is still shocking to me.
Yeah, but and no, I run. Oh yeah, I going back to the point I was actually going to make. Oh boy. Oh, that explains
Yeah, that's a
why
great point.
things got so weird. He actually jumped out. Also, what am I doing? I actually have a repair tool. Okay, this is weird. Never mind. Yeah, like I've seen that sentiment, and a part of me can understand it because I think in terms of map quality, perhaps the general quality for maps were probably better back with the, like, say, premium purchases. Now, the biggest drawback and definitely the biggest problem why we moved away from that business model is that, yeah, it was the hot thing for a week, and then or so, and then, I mean, case in point, if you want to play, I mean, say Battlefield 4, and I'm also just gonna quickly tie in Sackplay's point about preferring premium for Battlefield. Is that we're guaranteed content, which is another thing I suppose you could add to that, since with the live service model, you don't really know what content or how much content we're gonna get, since right now, since allegedly it's okay. That was a funny thing. Since allegedly there's only a skeleton crew working on the game, trying to make the bare minimum in terms of content,
Let alone good content. Which, I don't think not to hate on them, but they absolutely nailed it up. Knocked it out of the park this time around. What about next time?
yeah, and also
But you could say that with paid
Yeah.
map packs as well. It's
Yeah,
like,
I mean, fair.
exactly.
because Modern Warfare 3, going back a decade, I feel like its first two map packs were pretty great, and then the third one was meh, and then the fourth one was like the best one they released. So, or maybe it was the first one that was good, and then the second one was kind of meh, and then the last two were really great. There was some combination there of, I remember getting all those when they first came out. I was like, yeah, I'm not feeling this one, and then the others were like, oh, this is so cool. So.
Well,
So
one
it's
of them
like-
just gave
so-
you Mayhem, so that's automatically worth $15 in my opinion.
So just because you're paying for it, again, doesn't mean that the new maps are going to be good, just because that you're paying a premium price for them. So
That should hopefully incentivize the studio to do better.
you would hope so, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's going to happen. And also, it's like, there is so many maps in video games that I feel like this is such a great map on paper, and execution, horrible.
Yeah.
Like
And-
what?
So
Seriously, like what?
I feel like a lot of the Call of Duty Ghost maps are like that. Where it's like, if this were in a different game, this map would be amazing, but because it's in Ghost, it's not great.
Man, if this
Because-
game didn't suck, it'd be great.
Well, no, I see where you're going with that, but no, it's like, actually, the fact that it was in Ghost made the maps bad. But if you put them in, like, okay, Rainbow Six games weren't really all coming out at that point in time. Well, Rainbow Six isn't a great example of the type of
We
maps
only
that
had Vegas, and Vegas 2 was the last one we got.
and
before Siege.
those aren't really the same, so that's not a great example.
Yeah.
But one of the problems with the maps in Ghosts is that they were is that they were
agree.
too large.
Yeah.
They were too large. Is that they were too large. So, I mean, they were actually...
That actually worked out.
That actually worked.
Oh boy.
I got blown up by a grenade right when I was...
Okay.
Going on?
I remember playing there was a ghost map where it was like, yo, I'm with the list squad.
But yeah, because the maps were just too big for the 6-on-6 player size for Ghosts,
and they also had a lot of like insta-kill weapons. Or
well,
see,
I'm not talking I'm not talking weapon balancing. I'm strictly talking map design.
Sorry, no, like the things you could pick up in the map. Like there was like a Jason Voorhees or something.
That stuff didn't come until DLC. So I'm talking base game here, and then.
Sorry.
And then at the same time, there were like little gimmicks around the map, like you could put C4 on a thing and blow it up, and then like a roof would fall over and it would create different lanes of cover and stuff like that. That stuff was really great ideas, especially for Call of Duty at the time. But the fact that the maps were typically on average a little larger than previous COD maps, and it was still 6-on-6. You had a lot of open areas where nothing was going on. But if they had just opened up the party size a little bit more and made it, instead of 12v12, make it, or 16? No, 12 12v12. Because it's 6v6, which makes it 12. So yeah, if it was 12v12, then those maps
8v8 would be a good size for those maps.
Yeah. Well, there are one or two that are even bigger than that. So it's like
okay.
Yeah. So
so my baseline
if they had more people.
Oh
then...
yeah, Stonehaven be like as
exactly.
an example.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what sucks? I used to play Ghost with a friend, and that was the only map we played.
Stonehaven.
I had no say in what maps we played other than Stonehaven. And it was flooded, so it was like I knew it was in Brazil because that was where one of the stupid plot points happened.
That's not Stonehaven.
No, it was Stonehaven and one other.
So while his dogs bark, to finish off my point here before I get interrupted again. If they increase the lobby sizes in that game, then those would probably be some of the most well remembered maps in Call of Duty for the things that they did to advance the formula while still sticking to Call of Duty's design philosophy and everything, and being because again, if you put 30 players on Stonehaven, then it's like, yeah, I think that's a really great map. It's just that it was 6v6, so there was.
How are you playing the video game then?
It was all this empty space. So that's what made it bad. So the lobby size was really going to be the thing that would turn the tide on that. So that's one of those. That map was really good on paper, not so much in the execution because of one reason or another. I feel like you have that potential issue with any video game, and just because you're potentially going to be paying for the content doesn't guarantee that it won't be an issue.
Yeah, but one thing that Zach Place said a while back in chat that actually neatly ties into a point I was thinking about. I'm just gonna read out his comment. It's literally no coincidence that the most successful Battlefield games have premium passes. BF3, BF4, BF1. Everyone basically unanimously agrees these are complete experiences. And I agree on one hand. I'm trying to think what
the only reason one was successful was because free. Like they gave it away for free on several platforms. I don't think all at the same time, and it somehow surpassed like 20 million copies.
That wasn't until later, and they've done that with 4 and Hardline as well.
Absolutely not.
No, Battlefield 1 was like was actually pretty successful at launch.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah.
I could have sworn.
You got to remember when it came out. That was a bad fall. That was a bad fall for games because it was Titanfall 2, Battlefield 1,
and you take that back.
Infinite Warfare. Hey,
Take that back. Take it back.
hey, I'm not saying anything about the I'm not saying anything about the quality of Titanfall 2 as a video game. It is a well-established fact that Titanfall 2 was a dud in terms of sales because it was sandwiched between Battlefield and Call of Duty.
Again, EA's fault.
Yes, yes, very much EA's fault. So I think and also so you had two space games kind of basically, and then you had one that was a World War I shooter, which was different than than most video games that tried before. So there was a new kind of fresh, interesting thing going on with Battlefield 1, and also the original Titanfall was locked on Xbox and PC, so there was an entire ecosystem of people that didn't really know what Titanfall was, and so it wasn't a proven experience for them yet, which did not incentivize them to buy the sequel.
Which is so sad.
Yeah. Because of those three games, Titanfall 2, based on what I have played, which is basically just a campaign, I will say that it is probably the best of those three games, but it was the lowest selling.
Another point that's getting brought up, although in regards to BF1, although as also know that to kind of separate that, what Prentice is talking about is the launch, whereas Zach leans more into the player retention right after launch, which I mean that's a different thing. I think since I mean it was still a major success, and it was also one of the reasons, if not the reason, it was decided that the World War I shooter would be followed up by a World War II shooter, and also because I guess thematic reasons, the sequel to the worst war in history. Can it be worse? Yes, it can.
Introducing racism.
What do you mean introducing?
Okay, technically that was Killer 1, but...
Yeah, I was about to say, World War II
need to go back to history class.
It's not a bug, it's a feature.
Now there's a trailer. There's a trailer quote right there. It's like Battlefield 5 introducing racism. Our all new racism.
Actually, no.
Racism system.
Sexism. They introduced sexism in that game.
Actually, yeah, because people were outraged when there was a woman on the battlefield. Granted, I was one of those people because I'm like, this is not historically accurate at all. But
shut up! It's a video game. I'm getting teabagged by Angel.
And that was also another point I was gonna make, is that in regards to the the successful battlefields have been the ones with the premiums, whereas the one with free content has been not successful. And I mean, I don't blame anyone that. But I think that's a case of where correlation.
We've only had two live service games.
Correlation, well, and to be fair, the fact that there are two of them, I suppose, make things a little okay. Yeah, that's more of a pattern. But I think in that regard, correlation, yeah, doesn't equal causality.
No. I want him to say it again.
Correlation doesn't equal causality in this case, because yes, 2042 and 5 are probably the least successful Battlefield games in a while, at least mainline games, and they've also both been live service games. However, as we've been talking with 2042, it's been a lot of issues with technical issues and also some gameplay designs and such. And with 5, we actually brought up the big thing that made people upset with the women in the historical shooting setting. And I mean, that was one of the reasons why Battlefield 5, didn't take off, really.
The incels hated it.
Well, not just because that, but also because
they did, but that's besides the point.
Yeah, but also because I think just the fact that there was that whole controversy, like I suppose could have made some people, turned off. Even if they didn't necessarily think it was an issue, but just the fact that everyone is, you know, hating on this game right now, and they were, you know, continuing to hate on it, and I think it's more of a coincidence that the fact that those two games have been live service, and that also goes back to, I suppose, the point that Zach Plays also did in regards to why he prefers premium, and also why a lot of other people are more favorable towards premium right now, is that it is more consistent. Since when they announce the premium pass, they say, I mean, they don't say exactly 100% all of the content that's gonna be it in there, but they do say this is how many DLCs you're gonna get. You may not get more than that, but you know what you're gonna get, and you know roughly when you're gonna get it. With a live service game, that consistently gets thrown out of the loop, because things can happen, like say they decide to delay a season because they...
Global pandemic.
Yeah, I think global pandemic's probably a big thing too.
Yeah, that too, but I was thinking of, like,
that's one of my favorite excuses to use.
That's an example that directly correlates to this game, in that, yeah, they delayed the first season of content. Other factors can be that because of a game not doing so well financially, like 5 didn't do, and while 2042 did sell decently, the fact with the player retention and just the online discourse around the game doesn't exactly put a pretty picture on it. So, like, imagine an alternate future where 2042 had been delayed, not released in fall, and when it released, it actually was more in line with how it is right now, or even better. And if it had been successful, then I could have seen that maybe instead of 1 map, we maybe could have gotten 2 maps this season, or more guns, or maybe even more stuff for Portal. But all that content is dictated by how well the game does in the first place. And if the game doesn't do well, then EA in this case are gonna cut the budget for future content, since, well, we're not making a lot of money, we're not making that much money of it, so we're not gonna invest. Whereas, yeah, and as Zach just said, with premium it legally forces DICE and EA to bring content, because people are buying premium for $40-50, and it promises 5 DLCs.
Well, so really quick,
yes, sure.
I don't want to be defending, because I don't like EA, really.
Yeah.
At this point, I think they're actually the best of the big 3 publishers, which is crazy, because it's like
that
Ubisoft
doesn't mean we like them.
Yeah, that doesn't make me like them, because Activision's been. I've hated Activision and their business practices for a long time, despite liking Infinity Ward's take on Call of Duty for the most part. Ubisoft used to be my favorite, but recently they've just been like, I don't know what they're doing anymore. This is not the Ubisoft I used to like. And so it's like, well, I mean,
what, you don't like open world bathwater?
So you know, EA is not great, but I mean, I feel like that they are consistent. At least they haven't like drastically changed in one way or another, and they're not like.
And you've always got Apex to look at.
They're not abusing their workers like Activision seems to be, at least not that we've heard of thus far. So, oh, come on. What even was that? What killed me? No. I think my backblast of my rocket launcher destroyed an explosive barrel behind me. Because it just said terminated. It just said terminated.
Okay, we need to test that out. We need to test that out. Go into a portal match. Have someone as lists. Someone on the enemy team.
I'm not gonna say anything, because that's happened to me in Vanguard, actually.
Well, backblast in the barrel?
Yeah, backblast
awesome.
While standing next to an ammo crate has made things go boom.
That's awesome. That's actually really cool. That's actually awesome.
Yeah.
So anyway, as I was saying, so yeah, I don't really like EA, so I can't believe I'm defending them here. But the live service model, as much as it may irritate people of just, all right, time to cut our ties and end support, it does make more sense from a business perspective that if the game doesn't do well on its outset and you don't think there's a way to recoup those losses and turn it around, you can then at that point just say, all right, we're done. We tried. This may be our own fault, but we're going to cut our losses and move on to the next game. Which, if rumors are to be believed right now, that is kind of what they're going to be doing.
Battlefield
with this.
4 2, now with an even rockier launch.
It's like that does kind of seem like maybe that's what they're doing. But it makes more sense than at the outset to get more pre-orders promising, all right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to promise 5 DLC packs over the next year and a half, and then when the game doesn't do well and their player count is in the hundreds instead of the tens of thousands like they would want, they're like, well, now we're legally stuck into making all this content for no one, essentially. So that's not so. If I'm a company and I want to cut some costs and find a better way to do things, it's like the live service model is actually a much better way to go about it. It's just that they have not been using the model properly.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
but I don't think that's a problem with the live service model itself. I think that's just the fact that these companies have been not using it properly, and because they're trying to make quicker bucks.
And also
then who
because
has been using the theory behind it well? Now, I'm not going to say the practice of it, but the theory, because, like you said, every game handles live service differently.
Yep.
Oh, where do you go? Okay, I like live service. In this game, this is the best, most balanced compared to everything else. I
want to know what
Loka
was going to say first.
Oh, sorry.
What was I gonna say?
D's nuts.
Probably not that.
No.
Lamau got him?
No.
It sounded like you may have been about to say the same thing Daxter was going to say. Because I just finished saying that it's not necessarily the live service model itself that's the problem. It's the way the companies have been utilizing it poorly.
Now I remember my point.
Also
that actually release the games in a good state to begin with.
Yeah, that would help.
Yep.
And not feel like a early access game. I think when we're talking about live services, and I brought up Modern Warfare 2019, or like, oh, that game would like to have a word with you. I think that's probably the one, like, my immediate go-to when I think successful live service games that I've also enjoyed, because it was a good game up front. You bought it $60. It was
what game? Sorry, my mic cut out.
Modern Warfare 2019.
Okay, yeah.
It was a good game, and it was, I think, more importantly, feature complete. It didn't feel like it was.
Spec Ops was dumb, but
yeah.
It was feature complete.
Yeah, exactly. And when you compare that with 2042, and I don't know, maybe more importantly, Battlefield 5, I think one of the big issues, aside from the controversy, was the fact that, while good, it wasn't feature complete. It lacked. It was missing 1/4 of the campaign that was labeled as. Granted, it was labeled as, here it's gonna be part of the first chapter in our live service game. But the fact that when you finish it, you unlock the epilogue for the campaign, that made me feel, hang on a second, that's a little weird.
So you didn't finish it and you put out the last bit as DLC. Great, thanks.
Yeah. And also it didn't have Firestorm. That was one of the big things that we're trying to,
super delayed.
Yeah.
The Firestorm.
Yeah, speaking of battle royales in Battlefield. And also it didn't have the co-op mode, which was one of the first things they actually talked about when they announced the game. So things like
Oh,
that.
I forgot about that completely.
Yeah, and that says a lot about that co-op mode. And I think that's the big issue, at least with Battlefield games. That they haven't really been, in the case of 5, not fully feature complete, and in the case of 2042, I don't know if it's necessarily a problem of not being featured complete. I think it's more of a case of, this has some technical and gameplay problems.
Yeah.
That makes it not feel really finished. I suppose maybe if you were to compare to say, the amount of guns this game has compared with previous games that launched, but I don't know. I've never thought that was that big of a deal, actually.
Yeah, Battlefield 4 having a bajillion guns in it is actually an issue, I feel like.
Yeah.
Because it's like, there's a lot of quantity, but not a lot of quality here, I don't think. I would rather have 12 good guns than 200 guns.
Yeah, and even more importantly, 12 good guns that actually feels different, as opposed to, here's like 12 different assault rifles that does the exact same thing.
Yeah. Car! Only a Battlefield!
Sorry.
Let's see if I can.
Yeah, like, okay,
Avenge.
So one of the weapons I have not seen get
how
dropped down
did it
was the...
How did it go through?
I don't know. So one of the guns I haven't seen drop down, but I think is really cool, is that new crossbow, like, grenade launcher.
Yeah,
I saw people talking about that
gun.
in the chat, but I haven't seen it yet either.
I don't think it's a meme. I don't think it's going to be the meme gun of this game. I hope we get something way stupider. I genuinely...
Colibri D2.
Yeah, but... wait, what?
There we go, now it destroyed the vehicle.
I'm so tired. But... It's different.
I'm coming.
It's really cool. Like, yeah, all the weapons we got, I think, all
friendly.
stand out. The only one I feel like is a bit redundant, kinda, is the second sniper rifle. Because the first sniper rifle already has a grenade launcher attachment. So, like,
it has a what now?
Sniper rifle? It has a grenade launcher attachment you can get for it.
What?
I was unaware of this.
Why?
I don't know, but I love it.
They work with Collie, that's why.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Nighthaven was actually a big supporter of the no-pats. It was actually one of the few good things they did.
Where the heck is this guy?
I have no idea. He must be hiding in a crate. He's dead.
He's gone.
They found him.
So I just got the 64-player version of Exposure on PS5.
Oh, that reminds me. Prentice, since you're the only one that's been trying both versions, what do you think of, well, up until now apparently, how do you think the 64 version compares with the 120?
Well, just really quick, to answer the question of what do we think the best live service game, it's like, you answered Modern Warfare 2019, I pretty much share that opinion.
I figured.
But I'm going to add one more in. I'm going to also put Battlefront 2 on the list, because it had its troublesome launch, but after that, I mean, when they start doing the Clone Wars content and everything, I mean, that game was just, for like a year and a half, it was just amazing.
Yeah.
This is great. Hey, there's a new game mode. It's basically classic Battlefront 2. We've got command posts back. They're adding in new vehicles. The new heroes were great. They've got the Clone Wars voice actors voicing everyone. All this stuff is really cool. Dooku kind of sucked as a hero, if you ask me. But I mean,
Where's Jungling Hunt? We cannot forget that period in our...
but Ewok Hunt being a thing, it's like that was a cool thing to add. So all of the post-launch support for Battlefront 2 was honestly just really great, and the fact that it was cut off at the kneecaps for 2042 was really annoying, because that's another thing about this game, and you have to remember about DICE in general. It's like, oh, they've lost their touch or whatever. You have to remember that there for a little while they had always been a every other year studio, and suddenly they had been forcibly transitioned into an every year, one game every year studio.
Thanks in part to Star Wars.
Yes, because they were working on 4, and then they got Battlefront, and then Battlefront 1 came out, then Battlefield 1 came out the next year. Then Battlefield 2 2017, Battlefront 2, it's so confusing. Battlefront 2 2017 came out the year after that, and then I'm falling. And then the year after that, Battlefield 5 came out.
2019.
So for like 3 or 4 years, they released a game every year, which they had never done before. So, and of course, they had all these stupid mandates from DICE from EA. So Battlefront 2 is like, all right, you got to put in all these stupid microtransactions in the star card so it can be pay to win. And you could tell
they don't like that. Well, that's their fault, and your fault too, DICE, for trying to put that in there. Shame on you. We definitely didn't give you any direction on that.
But I'm actually glad it happened, because it basically single-handedly killed the loot box craze, because then all of a sudden there's politicians talking about it because it's gambling for kids, and then everyone's starting to go, oh hey, it is, it was, especially the way it was going to be in Battlefront before they shut it off. So it's like, okay, that actually kind of worked out in the long run. Battlefront 2 ended up being a great game in the long run, even if its reputation was kind of
died so others could live.
Yeah.
Although, granted, we now have the Battle Pass, which I think is even worse.
No, the Battle Pass is way better.
The only game I think that does it right is Halo Infinite, and that is only because I can go back and get the rewards I didn't get.
Well, that is an issue with I do have with Battle Passes, is that I don't have that issue for the most part, because with the stuff that actually really at least with COD, for the stuff that actually really matters in the Battle Pass, there are ways to buy it after the fact or unlock it after the fact, and everything else is very inconsequential. It's like, oh no, I missed out on this one charm for my gun that I maybe can't get now, but it's a charm for my gun. It doesn't actually affect gameplay in any way whatsoever, as opposed to loot boxes, which is maybe a randomized chance to get something that could actually drastically change gameplay, and it's like, yes, let's spend $100 so I can get this one special version of this gun that absolutely shreds and no one can do anything about it. So it's like, the battle pass system isn't always utilized the best, but I think it's better over the alternative. Yeah, I'm definitely in agreement there. I just do agree with Daxter's main negative side of main gripe with it. That I don't like the time sensitive angle. Yeah, that's my main issue. But other than that, I'm taking battle passes over loot boxes any day. But I also can understand why people prefer that. Partly because of I'm just gonna say, there's less FOMO surrounded it, but actually no, there's a lot of FOMO surrounded with that, and arguably worse, at least if there's an event loot box, or like they actually did in Black Ops 3 once. They just had like, okay, here's a new weapon, you only have this amount of time to earn it. If you don't earn it,
or my favorite one, the only way to unlock new weapons that aren't in the base game is to win 75 games.
Yeah.
Do you know how long that takes?
Especially if they just put one out and everyone has entered sweat mode.
And you have a chance. And you have a chance of getting a melee weapon. and there are more melee weapons than there are actual guns.
Yep.
Black Ops 3. Oh, man. I late that game. I late that game so much.
The only positive thing I can say that I will give loot boxes over battle passes is that even though chances of getting the stuff you want are low, at the very least you could on a technical level at least earn the stuff you wanted and even everything by just playing the game, whereas most of the battle pass stuff is locked behind that purchase. But that's the only positive thing I'll give loot boxes, and even then
surprise mechanics.
Yeah, and
yeah, thank you.
So I can understand why some people and I have seen actually like people going, oh man, I much prefer.
How about you just let me unlock everything on my own time like we used to in Modern Warfare? I mean, granted that's like 2. I mean, not like 2019. I think
it's also over a decade ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
That's just not the way the world works anymore, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I just took a rocket to the face.
Oh boy!
And it wasn't even guided.
I actually get afraid when I see Sundance's scatter grenades because
they hurt now.
Yeah. I'm actually getting kills with it outside of hardcore.
To your left, Loka, to your left.
Oh.
It's terrifying. Also, I realized why McKay's grappling hook and Sundance's wingsuit never mixed. Because that would be the most broken thing in the world, and that needs to be a game mode. Basically, Just Cause.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah. It would be cool if you
Just Cause.
One team is McKay, the other is Sundance's.
No. Combine both.
Oh. I don't know about that.
Literally Just Cause. You have the wingsuit and the grappling hook.
So anyway, now that we're done with that train of thought and live service and all of that, I was asked what do I feel about the two differing versions of of the map.
Forgot.
Wait, what were we talking about?
Yes.
So, I don't really know. I don't think I really have much of a definitive answer yet. Oh, okay, spawn protection. Oh, never mind. Not much spawn protection. Because I mean, I think for the most part, this is a pretty accurate representation of what the larger version is like. It's just shrunk down because that's the issue with. Because of course, that's the issue with some of the other maps in this game. Is the one that Daxter and I have harped on off air is I can't ever remember the name of it, but it's the big Antarctica map. Where I think the Antarctica map on the small version is actually a pretty decent map.
It's definitely a bit more Russian-sided, just because they have 3 objectives really close to each other. And the U.S. is closer
it's not perfect.
By far, at least it isn't the train wreck that is.
Yeah, okay. but the big version of the map with 160 players or 24 players or whatever it is, that is like, I mean, it's probably the worst map in the game just because that is every issue
if you're Russian,
have,
you're screwed.
If there's an issue that you have with the map design in Battlefield 2042, it is present in some area of the big version of the Antarctica map on the next gen consoles. Yep, check.
Oh boy, oh boy.
I think it may actually be the biggest map.
I think Alamine still wins, at least in this game.
Which one?
But then again, Alamine, one of the 1942
But that's a 1942 map. That doesn't count.
That doesn't count. I'm talking about the 2042 maps.
Oh boy, that's a lot of people. It's starting to feel like Metro!
I will say it is better in Rush and Breakthrough. That is actually a great Breakthrough map. Although I feel like they could do better with the objective placements. Like, I would love to have because you start off Basically, you don't go to that giant cliff that was seen in the trailer for this game. The teaser trailer, the one where Sundance flies off the thing and then the guy gets crushed by the condor.
The damn event peak look-alike.
Basically. You start on basically the two closest U.S. sectors, and then you move down to C and D on the big map, and then you end on the oil rig. And I still can't find the penguins on that map, which I think is the most infuriating part about it.
Yeah, because there's the big glaciers and everything, and it's like, so basically the glaciers are like the hills here on this map, but they're so much more enclosed in a smaller space, so it really is, so you can't. You
can't effectively get up there with anyone but McKay or Sundance.
I didn't do anything.
And even there's like very narrow rope bridges across some of them.
Yeah. Also, what's the point? There's no point into going onto any of those.
Yeah. So it really is.
You're only near D, and even then, you can't even just get up there. So it doesn't even serve a purpose as a fun killing ground.
No. Yeah. And then everything is just so separate. Everything is just so
separate. The A sector is probably the worst offender because that's 3 sectors that the Russians have to capture basically, and the U.S. gets 2 sectors, one with 2 capture points, one with 1, and then that one is just the Dam Van Peak or whatever you just said because I don't play Battlefield 3.
Dam Van Peak.
That's what I said. Van Dam Peak. What else?
Yeah, and the thing is that obviously they put that in there as to be a point of interest and and to be reminiscent.
It's really cool, honestly, to fly down.
And of that area from Battlefield 3, which everyone remembers so fondly, but it's just so. I mean, it's so.
It's on the middle of the map. That's the issue.
Yes.
No, it's at the very edge. It is at the very, very edge of the map. So it's like no one hardly goes there. Whee! So it's like, what is even the point of this? It's like you'll have a couple little firefights there if a condor or something gets over there.
Yeah, and even then you're probably screwed because before this there was no real effective way of taking out those condors.
It's called a stinger, but
the stinger does not work great in this game.
Yeah, it does.
It takes forever to get a lock on if they pop flares.
No, I'm shooting down birds all the time with stingers. I think it's just a matter of who's.
Well, then again, I hate vehicle players with the fiery burning passion. I genuinely do. I think they're the worst. They're the worst type of player to play against in a Battlefield game, hands down.
I'm glad you think so highly of me.
I know.
Granted, I'm not like 100%.
You're not as bad. You're not as bad as some of the vehicle sweats I've seen.
I can transition between either. I'm very much a middle ground. It's like I can do infantry, I can do vehicle both, and I'm pretty good at both. But I think I do prefer vehicles just a touch more, which is actually one of my problems with this game is that it's so hard to get in an actual vehicle in this game. It's like they go so quickly. More so than in other Battlefield
games. Because you have to pick it from the spawn menu. You can't. It's not on the map. Also, I hate the little intro cutscene. What's the point? Give me that 30-second timer and then let me get in. Let me start running. Quit wasting my time.
It's called We Have to Wait for the Slowpokes on previous gen systems, Daxter.
No, you don't. No.
Yeah, it's a loading screen.
On my PS5, I cannot play with you guys.
So what I mean by that is that they had to design the game for both.
But they didn't implement crossplay. Crossplay, not cosplay.
I'm pretty sure when they were building the base code of the game, that is something they threw in there because they knew we need to have an animation loading screen here to finish loading everything. Because I don't know, but when they're building this game, they may not have had dev kits yet, so they didn't really know what the specs were going to be like.
Oh, maybe? I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, so they would have to do the way they had always done them. It's like, all right, here's a cutscene to finish up our loading, so you're not just sitting here staring at the art the entire time, and it actually feels like it's moving faster than it is. Which on the PS5 totally unnecessary because of the SSD, because it loads so quickly. But the base game of what we get on PS5 was probably built originally with the PS4 and Xbox One in mind, so EA said, "Hey, put this over next gen."
Yeah,
I have nothing to back this up. This is all speculation, but it wouldn't surprise me.
No, not at all.
Ah, some good news. Guten Tag Country Balls has left the closet. I repeat, he has left the closet.
What?
I guess he was watching the stream in a closet for a time.
Okay.
But this map exposure, I feel like it's good in both versions, which is a good step forward talking about the game overall.
I hate text so much.
Because what's I'm so bad with the names of some of the maps in this game.
Which one? Hourglass? Kaleidoscope?
No, Kaleidoscope. Thank you. I can never remember Kaleidoscope because Kaleidoscope. I think that's one of the examples.
That's the stupidest name I've ever seen for a map about a city.
Yeah, it's not a great name. I feel like that's the case of the larger version is better because you have more of the city playground to play around in.
Yeah, but you also have they are reworking it. That's what I heard.
Yeah, they are reworking it.
Yeah, you should have seen Breakthrough on that when it first came out on 128.
Oh gosh,
because they put both of the objectives
on the tower.
Oh, it was so much fun if you weren't a defender or if you were a defender.
Yeah, so because
they couldn't get off because everyone was like, "All right, drop your tanks on the." Oh, it was so fun.
Yeah. So
they changed that real quick, thankfully.
I like the larger version of that map, but Antarctica is definitely better in the smaller version. And I'm just remembering
is hit or miss. I think it's a 50-50 on Doha, the Hourglass, the sand.
Yeah,
because I like the stadium. Hourglass. I just wish that there was Hourglass City, Hourglass Stadium, and it was a very small map.
Yeah, no, I like the larger version of that one too because I really like because the stadium is basically Operation Locker tucked into a larger city.
Yeah,
I like that.
It's really fun.
Yeah, because that was the first one I played when I got the PS5 version. That was the first one that loaded in for me. I'm like, okay, this is different.
That's also got a great Breakthrough map.
Oh, that's what.
I haven't touched Breakthrough in months.
Okay, so they changed it. No 128 Breakthrough right. There's no 128 Breakthrough right now. They removed it. I think balancing issues. So it's 64 right now, which I'm okay with.
Yeah,
that seems like a mode that might.
And then they also removed 64-player Conquest on next gen, and instead replaced it with Exodus Conquest, which is 64-player, but you can also play some of the Portal maps.
I.e., play on good maps.
Good maps.
Yeah,
I know.
And that was actually another moment.
I gotta say,
where I started.
Sorry,
Okay, who should go first? I think we need to decide.
Loka.
You should go
first. because you're bouncing off of Daxter's last quote.
All right. Yeah, that was actually a bit interesting when I saw that they did the flashback conquest through Portal. Like, oh, it's 2042, except on all the old maps through Portal. Like, I wonder how that's gonna be like. I played it, and it was like, And I kinda had the same epiphany as I had when playing on this map, Exposure, where, apparently playing on a good map helps a lot. Who would have thought?
You'd be surprised.
Yeah.
Apparently, I found the actual dev who worked on the maps. It was just a monkey that they found. They were low on budget after the whole, the whole Hazard Zone fiasco, which is unlike anything you've ever seen in a Battlefield game before.
Whoa, that was close.
Which is still one of my favorite PR quotes about this game.
What, Hazard Zone is unlike anything you've seen in a Battlefield game before?
Yes.
That's not
What?
true.
I think it was something they said. It was a unique Battlefield experience or something. And then someone said, oh, it's like Escape from Tarkov. And then I'm like, it's like Escape from Tarkov meets, I don't know, a slightly more regular Battle Royale. But it sucks.
Oh, what did I spawn into?
That is a very good question.
Probably a video game.
Oh, I spawned on Loka and there's just a giant explosion in front of us.
Oh. Yeah, so I was thinking about this last night. I think I prefer Caspian Border and Battlefield 4 to Battlefield 3. It's just got so much more to do in it.
Woo! Let's go!
But I know you guys really like that.
Oh, you got it. Nice.
Yeah, I zipped up to the top of the mountain, parachuted over, and dropped C4 on it.
Actually, it's C5.
Oh, whatever.
You know you love me.
Eh.
Oh,
Tolerate?
dang it.
Got him.
Danke. Oh, okay. That was a friendly sky flyer.
Yeah, so, on topic of Caspian, I prefer the visuals of Battlefield 3 because I like the greener trees more. But
Really?
the map layout in 4 I think is better, yeah. So if they could, like, remake the Battlefield 4 version but the green trees from 3, then that'd be, like, the perfect version of Caspian Border for me.
Yeah. Gotcha. Well, oh, so what the heck happened to Levolution?
Yeah, you would think that'd be something that'd especially be cool to have. Well, I mean, there's actually a little bit of it on Kaleidoscope.
There's a little bit, but
towers, but it's very wimpy compared to what we had in Battlefield 4. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, speaking of which, that's actually a point I saw somewhere, because a lot of people have been positive about this map, but one of the few negatives that people have brought up, like, oh, there's like next to no destruction and the tornadoes are gone. And I saw that, and I actually thought about it, and then went like, well, it's not like there was much destruction to begin with in this game, and
yeah.
tornadoes,
what do the tornadoes
they don't do anything.
No,
which
not
is
really.
Yeah, which is really depressing. I wish it did more.
And I was reminded of that when you mentioned Levolution, because you could argue that Levolution is a bit of a gimmick. I think
It
that's
is,
definitely
but it actually
the case.
changes the map.
Yeah, whereas the tornadoes in this game, that's 100% a gimmick, because it was cool the first time.
And it's also a gimmick that Fortnite tried to copy. And it's just as useless in that game.
Well, and that's another thing, is that when they were first doing the sales pitch for this game that I initially bought into, and was like, well, this seems better than Battlefield 5, is that the tornadoes would be like one type of storm that you could encounter, at least by what I was understanding. So I was like, well, that was so I was expecting, like, one map would have tornadoes, another would flood periodically because of torrential downpour. It's like maybe
The
on
sandstorm would do more.
Yeah, there'd be a big sand. The sandstorm does come in, but on Hourglass,
and it's
but it
less
really
infrequent. It's really infrequent too.
Yeah, and then like on
Although it makes game, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's very pretty. But then on like the Antarctica map, like a blizzard could come in and like freeze vehicles in their tracks or something. Well, do something to like make things so cold that it actually impedes combat. Something along the lines of that. I don't know exactly.
But
how that
global warming
would work, but it's like so.
The Earth is too sexy for all that.
So, oh my gosh, that's a whole squad over there. Loka, you need to get into cover like right now. They're all on their way over here.
Ooh,
Friends of yours?
I see that rocket.
Oh my gosh! So many people.
Also,
so the fact that it's just tornadoes now, basically, it's like, and that's all it is. It's like
I was hoping for
that's
some future maps they would actually change it up a bit.
Oh. Wait.
Yeah, they were still on that hill.
Because the concept has so much potential. So much potential.
Yeah, and even then, compare the tornadoes in the game with that tornado in that initial trailer. It's like
much more impressive.
Yeah, it's
get inside, hurry! You're going to die if you're out there. You have to get inside of the building.
Yeah, it's borderline false advertising, if you'd ask me.
Well,
and see another thing they could have.
I wonder if that wasn't their original idea, but time crunch happened.
That wouldn't surprise me. But like one thing that could have potentially been cool with that is like especially on like orbital is the tornado comes in and then it resets objectives to default whenever it goes over an objective if things are too clogged up as kind of like whenever the losing team would get the armored train or whatever in Battlefield 1. So like if there's one team that's just been camping on top of the big building on Hourglass the entire time, then the tornado comes through and wipes it clear, and of course everyone up there dies, so they're no longer up there and it becomes neutral
or
again.
Gets
so now
flung
it's
off.
It's up for grabs. Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, actually
that would be a little
hurt,
that would definitely be
hurt,
interesting.
Then maybe they would die, but then
the rest just get flung off with very low HP.
Ooh.
And then the other thing I've been seeing in, not in Loka's chat, I'm sure it's a lot more civil than this chat, but this game sucks. Dead game, lol. Wow, this map
sucks. They're playing.
Why are you playing? I actually got really irate over that last night. Granted, I wasn't having an amazing day last night, so, there's that. But if you're going to complain about it, just go to r/Battlefield. I don't want to hear it while I'm playing the game. I'm trying to enjoy it.
I find it weird that you would actually take time to complain about the game as you're playing.
Yeah,
in the text chat as you're playing it.
Oh, and there's voice chat now too.
Remember the Yak Frags video where he says there's Levolution and it's just a radio tower falling? Yeah.
Oh yeah, and it's just like a little dinky little. It just goes off the side. Doesn't even change that objective at all.
Nah.
The idea of Revolution is that
it removes cover, but because there's a little bit of cover that you could have.
Barely.
Yeah, but again, it's not much.
That's like claiming that using a pizza box as body armor counts as protection.
I mean, it does against the Nerf dart.
Yeah, but is that cheating or not?
I don't know, but it's cheesy either way.
I hate you. Get better material.
Whoa! That Jeep just totally flew off the mountain.
So I just realized that Vice's I don't even remember her name. It's just the Visibomb gun.
It is, yeah. Range. That was my first thought when I saw it. I'm like, oh, it's the Visibomb gun from Ratchet and Clank. Awesome.
I kind of wish it did more damage, but that's because I hate vehicles.
I don't understand how you can like Battlefield and not like vehicles. That doesn't make any sense to me because Battlefield.
Because I like ruining vehicle players' days.
Because the thing that makes Battlefield different and unique and make it actually, stand out against other FPS games is that it actually has vehicles, unlike a lot of other FPS games nowadays. So the fact that it has that vehicle play as a major component of it is actually pretty unique.
I like the I like the mainly the ones that encourage teamwork, aka not the little bird.
Delta sector has been seized by hostiles.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
I hate little birds so much.
I love
think
little birds.
Battlefield 4 really cemented my hate, but that was just because I was playing with a bunch of people who haven't played anything other than Battlefield 4.
Okay, and admittedly, the little bird isn't great in Battlefield 4. I don't think, but I love the little bird in 2042. It's great.
Okay. Yeah, I just enjoy destroying tanks and crap. I like to blow stuff up. It's fun, cathartic.
You like it when things go boom.
Yeah, I'm basically Scorch Wrecker.
Oh wow, 279 Danes. How did you count that out? Like, oh, that's when something big is happening on the channel. It's like, oh yeah, on your channel, I mean.
Okay. It's like, what the crap are you talking about? 279 pings. Also, I just realized the suppressor for the
I want to die.
For the crap, what's it called? The MP28, the little long-range pistol, not the G57, the one with like the stock that comes out. It's called the Spooky Suppressor.
I have a video called. Oh wait, there we go. I have a video called 279, and the video is just text called 279. No one knows yet but me. Well, now we know. Now we know. The secret is out.
Uh-oh.
Oh gosh. I'm seeing the name of one of the people in the condor.
Oh.
Oh, I see it.
Still can't be any funnier than the time that Prentice read out Jenna Tolls.
Oh gosh.
I remember, and you were completely oblivious too.
Yeah, no, I totally, it's like, oh yeah, look out for this one guy, and I just read the name out, and then you guys lost it. I'm like, what? And he's like, read that again. I'm like, oh. Yeah.
I was trying to remember what the name was because I wanted to put it in into a fake application, or not application, a fake like online trial. Because I hate using my real name, and I hate Dexter or A Bunny as my default. I've currently come up with Harmonious Elbermung if I'm playing a fantasy game, though.
What the heck is a fancy game, though?
I think he said fantasy.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense.
You were cutting in and out a little bit there, Dexter, just FYI, so that's probably why
okay.
So I think actually, I may have heard more than Loka, actually.
What's a fancy game, then? Actually, that brings up a great question.
That was my question to you!
I know!
So he's saying, yeah, we should follow that line of inquiry.
Well, is a fancy game like something like Gran Turismo, like where it has this elegance and peasants just don't get it? Or is it just a game that looks nice?
Fantasy is a fantasy. Change my mind. I mean, that's literally that's literally what fantasy is.
Wait, it is?
Yeah.
I was under the impression that it was real.
Fantasy is something that you wish were real. At least bits of it.
At least my wife isn't. Isn't that right, babe? She said yes.
What's her middle name? Figment?
Let's move.
So, looking at the time, probably one more, and then I need to be done.
Alright.
What, do you have a work?
Maybe. I also need to go mow the yard before I
Screw that.
go to sleep as well, so.
I guess it's also fair since we've been playing for about 2 hours on one map.
See, and I figured we'd been going a little while anyway, so not to rush us or anything.
No,
but
no,
I mean,
no,
I
it's
kind of
fine,
feel like
it's
we've
fine.
touched most of the highlights here.
Yeah. Is there anything else you think we missed?
Not in.
We like the map. We talked the state of Battlefield 2042. We talked live service.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about funny names.
What's a word that
We
ends
talked
with
about
L,
how
starts with
great
L?
Battlefield 1
LOL.
is. And how much Prentice loves that game.
Do not.
Like, so much. Like, I might just get him a copy for Christmas.
I have a copy. I don't need another one.
Well, you know, you can play Battlefield 1 on a second disc now. Ooh.
But why?
Because it's clearly the best game ever made, because it's historically accurate in every way, shape, and form. Plus, it's the best-selling Battlefield game of all time or something, so that has to count for something, right?
Yeah, I think it is. I think it actually is, and that kind of depresses me.
I know. Bad Company 2.
Wait,
4.
wait,
Hardline.
Which game are we talking about now?
One.
Okay. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, no.
I think I'm fine with that.
Yeah, honestly, I don't care for the game, but I am too, because it's like, well, people like it, and it does seem like it's a good game. I just think it wasn't as good as people made it out to be. And format, and it's like the weapons I didn't.
Battlefield 1 gameplay, no HUD, immersive.
Oh gosh, it's like that's the only word people use to describe that game. It's not fun. It's immersive. It's like those are the But it's not like.
Although I will say the DLC is so good. They actually realized what kind of game they were making, and they actually made the maps suit the gameplay a bit more.
But to circle back around.
Oh wow, that's a cursed comment. Good thing we're not playing as the Russians. The comment is Ukraine, open up.
Okay.
No, we're coming on the other end.
Yeah.
So to circle us back around, it's like, oh, the DLC to that game is so good. It's like, well, I wouldn't know because I didn't want to pay money for it.
Yep.
Well, now you get it for free.
Where if it had been a live service game, then I wouldn't.
And it's just like Battlefield 5. The best maps were all the Pacific ones, because screw the British. USA, USA, USA. Oh crap! I'm surprised Sweden hasn't been a super.
Correlation doesn't equal causality. How did I not get one dude at least? I think the only thing I can really think of in terms of discussion right now is, and we did kind of touch upon it with the current rumor of this being
the Skeleton Crew's
run by a skeleton crew, which...
Whoa! Bruh. What was that?
I have no clue what happened. What?
There was just a massive explosion right next to me, and I don't know what it was. I'm not talking like a rocket hitting.
It was the Condor I was in. It just crashed for no reason.
Oh! Okay, because I was about to say there was a huge explosion, and there was just a bunch of skulls on the map all of a sudden. Like, what was that? Okay. So anyway, sorry. We may continue.
Yeah, so... Soviet Onion Anthem place. That's a new one.
Soviet Onion? Did I hear that correctly?
Yeah, I have no clue. But yeah, since right now the current rumor is that this game is run by a skeleton crew, which... true or not, I think it makes sense. Oh, the new Soviet Onion. Okay, now I understand the connection. Onion instead of Union.
Yeah, that does make more sense.
Yeah, and as we touched upon, like, this game hasn't been doing that well, so EA is gonna, you know, understandably to a degree, cutting support for something that isn't earning them any money, and financially that makes sense. It was probably for the same reasons they abandoned both 5 and Battlefront 2. They weren't making much money out of it, and were like, okay, let's bank on this 2042 game instead. Oh, it's not doing so well.
They did not bank on
just,
this 2042 game.
Let's just do what we have to do, since speaking of the whole, season premium passes were better. Well, they are selling a premium pass of sorts.
It's just the premium track of the battle pass, and then there's also like you just get the you get the battle pass for an entire year. Wow, how generous is that? Okay, cool.
So
it's still gonna go away. So like it's what.
Yeah, but going back to the whole premium pass better because EA is legally forced to make content. Well, they put themselves in that corner with this one as well. In that, well, they have to make 4 seasons.
Yeah. Hey, we still get it. Unfortunately, it can be the absolute bare minimum.
Yeah, and I think that's the big issue here with, and
I just hope
not just with this game, but also with EA in general, and it's the mistake they keep repeating. They release a game in a not good and finished state. Oh, ow, that hurt for that guy. So the game suffers, they have to cut back on DLC support.
And lose money on it.
Yeah, and abandon it for the next game, because I think it was the first time we streamed this. I think at the end, me and Prentice were kind of like, oh, what do we think about, you know, I don't remember the exact point of discussion, but I think it was basically, is it gonna be something that is gonna be supported with content for years to come or not? And I made a case that, well, based on how things were going right now, at that time I figured that, oh, I don't know, I can only see them making the year 1 content, and then after that it's probably gonna be abandoned ship. And assuming this rumor is true, which, considering it's coming from Jeff Grubb, that's that's something where, like, I mean, it's above Jason Schreier level for me when it comes to gaming journalists. It's like, when Jeff Grubb says something, I'm like, okay, yeah, then that's like 99% true, I think, or there's an extremely good chance that is true. So I do think, based on that, it seems likely it's just gonna be 1 year of content, and also with these reworks and such for at least the maps, and maybe
that's a lot of people.
The specialists. That seems to kind of be up in the air right now. And I think the unfortunate reality is that once we've gotten the 4th season and they've done some of the reworks and stuff, I could see things, I could see the public perception turning around for this game, just
and
like how it happened
like
with 5.
Yep.
And then they
and
it's dead.
And 4 and Hardline, kinda.
I mean, those games weren't necessarily abandoned in the same sense, since it was, okay, now they've released all the DLC they've said they were gonna release. So, for all intents and purposes, those games are finished, and then
Secured sector Alpha.
BF4 had some extra stuff because Hardline didn't do so well at the time. So like,
No.
oh, okay, now 4 actually get some more content in terms of a couple of free maps. Not a huge chunk of maps, but a few at least. When it dies, people be going to COD, and yeah, that's also
Yeah.
that's what we
When it
haven't.
dies, Modern 2 Warfare will be released.
Yeah, we haven't touched that elephant in the room because we're gonna do that in next stream probably, or
It's probably going to be what, Sunday maybe.
yeah,
Yeah.
the Sunday stream.
Speaking of which, I need to clear some rooms, so either goodbye Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning or goodbye Moon, or I don't know.
It's like,
yeah,
oh no, you gotta say goodbye to a weeb game. How awful.
No. It's actually a medieval. It's actually a Western RPG.
Oh, I apologize then. Well, but hold on, you did say Kingdom Hearts at first, so...
No, I said Kingdoms of Amalur.
But it sounded like you were gonna go with Hearts and then you switched it.
Nope.
Okay, never mind.
I don't have that installed anymore.
Come on!
My schedule
I
on LEGO
spawned and
Star
was
Wars
immediately shot in the
streams
face.
is that I don't have a schedule on LEGO Star Wars streams.
All at sector Charlie.
Whenever he wants to be depressed, he'll play it.
No, that's me.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe at some point.
Holy
We know-
crap! It just the Condor just jet rammed the little bird. Or Russian little bird.
Oh man, I just spawned. Come on.
Oh crap!
Thanks for the revive,
Also,
boy.
ragdolls off of mountains will never be unfunny.
Yeah, they will always be funny.
Always.
Nothing you can say will change that.
Name one game where ragdolls haven't been funny, and name another game where ragdolls off of high places have not been funny.
Such a thing. Such a game doesn't exist.
Exactly. Thank you.
Ah, come on.
Some of my favorite ragdolls will still be Battlefront 2004 because you just went flying, and it wasn't even a ragdoll technically.
No, my favorite thing to do in that game would be to turn friendly fire off, or no, keep it on. Make sure friendly. No, hold on, because
It was off by
Have it-
default.
yes, friendly fire is off. Have friendly fire off so you could not kill your teammates, and then command them to stay in one area, and then bomb them with the orbital strike, and then just watch them go flying.
Okay, I haven't tried that. I might need to do that now.
Yeah, no, that was one of my favorites. Yeah, the Kashyyyk. I always do it on the Kashyyyk docks map because the Republic would always get the docks as one of their initial command posts, and then the overhead docks is one of their command posts, and then the droids would always be down below. So you would just command a squad of clones to be standing in one place above the Separatists, and then you'd bomb them and send them down to their deaths, basically, because they wouldn't be hurt from the orbital strike.
And then promptly die, but that's just because your teammate AI is hilariously stupid in Battlefront games. I say that. Battlefront 2 2017 has some good AI.
Half strength.
Or at least slightly more intelligence.
I think the AI in Battlefront
Die,
2
Angel.
2017 is pretty
Yes.
I was referring to 2005's
good.
valiant
Whoa.
efforts.
Yeah,
where-
a little different there.
I swear there's like some sort of eldritch god on Naboo that every AI keeps going towards, and they don't kill each other. They just run towards the single wall.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. Know what you mean.
They're banding together to fight against a common threat.
Control. Sector secure.
Or to go worship their ancient deity, Talos.
now.
Man, I'd love to find a way to stream that sometime.
Star Wars should release a Old Republic show. Change my mind.
I don't think we need to. It's the correct state of mind. And I think, honestly, TV shows probably the way to go for anything that isn't mainline content.
At this point, yeah.
Friendly forces are securing Delta 1.
Well, going back
agree
to
with
the way to stream classic Battlefront. I mean, I don't know. Depending on what they do with this new PlayStation Plus Premium, maybe
I'm not paying $20 for crappy PS2 emulation. Or did I say $20? I'm at 120.
Oh,
Yeah.
the driver jumped out. No. No.
I don't
Some
think it's
things
gonna
never
happen.
change.
Now, if you all want to grab Xbox Ones or Series S/X's, then I can arrange for that.
You're
Oh, wait,
asking
crap.
us to commit treason?
Yeah.
I just remember that the online servers for that game are still dead on console.
Yep.
You can still stream it
we
though.
live- Yeah, I can still stream it, but what's the point if you don't have other bodies with you?
Order
I mean, you could
66.
You could probably stream split screen
We now have full control.
if you had someone else to play with you.
Do you think I have someone else?
Probably not, but
Exactly. My body pillow doesn't want to help contribute to anything.
oh my gosh.
Oh gosh. Please no. Ow! Ow! Oh, it was way over there.
Now, my rivet plush, on the other hand, she's actually doing a mighty fine job. She's protecting my room from the cat.
So you have a cat protecting your room from the cat.
I have a bear
A
cat protecting my room
space
from
cat!
the cat. Oh, what? Thank you for my one-man Tim Allen show, where all I do is make that noise.
I don't know, I kind of feel like this self-guided rocket is kind of useless.
It doesn't do enough damage, in my opinion, for the reload speed.
Yeah, that and...
Now, granted, it is infinite, but I feel like you should at least take out half of the health of
Yeah.
a chopper, and at least maybe even a third of the health off of that like people mover tank.
Well, I just launched it at a dude and it did hardly any damage at all.
Oh yeah,
So-
it does piddly damage to.
Yeah, and I think you,
Like, I feel
you
like
also
that should
seem
send
to be
it
very
flying.
precise.
Yeah.
Oh.
Guess there's just no splash damage on it whatsoever.
Oh, but the recoilless M5, yeah, no, that kills me in one shot. Also, I may or may not have just killed myself using a this is rocket.
Thank you. I was literally survived!
What? Did
And
you
then
get
I'll-
shot?
Yeah, by a sniper.
Of course.
Oh
That's
yeah,
the...
this map isn't terrible to play on because snipers aren't like everywhere.
I got sniped too.
Glint. There's a glint there. There's another glint there. Oh, that's a huge glint.
Let me spawn. There we go.
They're attacking one of our objectives.
Which objective? You need to be more specific.
The objective.
It is fun just flying with this rocket. And as I said earlier, it does remind me of the...
Our troops have lost
Well,
Bravo 1.
technically I suppose
The
one of
Bishop.
the rocket launchers from James Bond 007 Nightfire.
Ooh. We're talking about good James Bond games?
Yep.
There's like what?
Ooh! Double kill! With that
Nice.
rocket launcher. That's a first.
Plum Rusher with Love I've heard was really good.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Or it's at the very least unique, as in it doesn't have Brosnan or Craig.
Yeah. They actually got
So,
Sean
like, that
Connery
alone-
to record his lines. That was actually pretty neat.
The Russians have sector Delta.
Whoa!
That's kind of
That's
cool.
a tank. Dice. That's Battlefield in a nutshell.
Most sectors.
That's a tank.
Yeah, I think we have all at some point gone, that's a tank, and then immediately gotten killed.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The one thing I will not forgive the 2042 devs for doing is they removed the ability to climb skyscrapers with the hovercraft.
Yeah, no, that was something that they should have just kept in there. I mean, it would
It's
fit,
so much fun.
It made sense.
And because it doesn't have the 30mm cannon or the 50mm, like, I still think it's well balanced. And no one expects it. Or, no one expected it whenever I used it.
I never got to do it.
Oh, it's so much fun. It was so much fun.
Yeah, sounds like modern day Dice to me. The fun police.
Battlefield 4 DICE would not have removed that. They would have actually made it a feature that made it easier to do it.
And then also put in like a badge or something as a commemorative, like, on this
Probably,
day something
yeah.
stupid happened.
Yeah.
Kind of like what Bungie does whenever Telesto breaks the game. Which
Did I
this
seriously
time,
not kill that rock chopper? Well,
correct. So I don't know if I've gotten to bring this up yet, but there's a gun in Destiny 2 called Telesto. It's this fusion rifle that's broken the game 38 times now. This time, it broke the game by despawning all the NPCs in the tower because the gunsmith held it as one of his animations.
What?
It crashed my game 3 different times.
How does that even happen?
I don't know. That is just this gun. If you want like a first-hand account, just ask Peel. I'm sure he's done some of the stupid exploits, like infinite supers with that. And it was just because you shoot it at your teammates. It's so stupid, but it's one of those things I just love to death.
Oh gosh, yeah. Definitely need to be done.
No, this
I
isn't
just
the
finished,
Ukrainian invasion of Russia, because in the year of 2042, apparently most countries aren't even a thing. Also, this is Canada.
Yeah.
I say immediately after saying, "Oh, nations aren't really a thing." Apparently,
Yeah, it's Canada.
Nations
It is-
outside of North America are not a thing.
Was Canada. Also, I think Sweden is still a country.
I think the whole. I don't know.
The story's so stupid.
The lore for this game is a little inconsistent, to put it that way. Admittedly, I am also comparing it with
COD.
No, I'm comparing it to the lore of Ace Combat Infinity, which is surprisingly similar to the 2042 one. I think with the especially in regards to that, nations aren't really a thing anymore. But in that game, they actually made it a thing where instead of there being nations, they really just refer to either a more regional name or as a area. Like when they mention Tokyo, for instance, they go on about like, oh, Tokyo, former capital of Japan. It's now area some letter and 2 numbers, like something like that. So they are a bit more consistent in that one.
Before the war.
But yeah, that's season 1.
But that's
0
actually good.
hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's handled better.
0
in that
hour,
game.
more like. Actually, how many hours have I put into this game? I know. Check now. It'll be funny, I swear.
I wonder. Did Japan get nuked too many times? No, but it did get hit by a asteroid in that game.
Oh, Ace Combat or?
Yes.
I'm so confused because I could honestly believe either one. I need to get the.
Where do you see? Is there a thing as stats?
I got
don't
100
remember.
hours in 2042.
Oh gosh. Okay, yeah, you definitely have more than me.
Go to your profile and go to games, at least in terms of PS5. I don't know for PS4.
I was about to say that's not a feature on PS4.
Yeah, that's a
PS4 games, but you can't access that on the PS4. You can only access it on the PS5.
I don't know why. I mean, yes, I do. They're trying to they're trying to wink, nudge you into getting one, but into getting a PS5. But I don't think
if you
that's
can
possible.
find one.
Yeah.
Says the person that bought it off of eBay. So.
Says the person that stole it from Walmart. I mean, bought it from Walmart. Yeah, but
the fact that you were able to buy 2 of them and you returned 1 of them just blows my mind.
That's crazy.
I told you. Okay, there we go. So, Destiny 2, I have somewhere around the neighborhood of 3,800 hours. Siege is only 210? Wow, that's actually kind of low. I thought it would be a little higher. And that's counting the PS4 and PS5 versions, because those are apparently separate games. I don't know why they don't just, like, count the 2. I played Modern Warfare 2 Campaign Remastered for an hour because I thought I was going to get a classic Ghost skin. I did not.
Oh yeah, because you got it for PS
to buy it at
Plus.
launch.
Yeah.
Yep. That's dumb.
Anyway,
But hey, I put 34 hours. Sorry.
Anyway, that was Battlefield 2042 Season 1 0 hour. That was a bit of a mouthful.
More like 100 hour.
Definitely a good step in the right direction. I think all of us seem to be in agreement of that, regardless of
where we were prior.
Yeah, exactly. So that's always a good thing, and it that even seems to be the case on the 2042 subreddit, where a lot of people are indeed actually praising the new map, and I will actually join that chorus. I know I've been very critical of this game, and I will continue to be so. But I'm also I consider myself fair and humble. I too consider myself extraordinary
humble.
Yeah, but yeah, I credit where credit is due. This is a good map and a good step in the right direction. And it's also it for today. No, we're not doing Lego Star Wars on Sunday because we will be doing Modern Warfare 2019, as we will talk about the other big shooty bang bang game that's coming out later this year.
Oh crap, I have to play that game now.
You don't have to. You realize that,
I want
right?
to. Yeah,
well, okay.
I just want to.
So if you're complaining as you're playing, just remember that we have we have it timestamped. We have it timestamped at the very end of the stream. You are there going, I want to. So
Mainly, I'm just bitter because I'm going to be taking up so much file space, because I think it's like over 200 gigabytes now.
Yeah, it's something insane like that.
Well, no, I think it is reduced now because of all the new patches that they've put in, the whatever they're called, that stupid names is that it's like
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, because now if you go through and you just hit the button to download Modern Warfare, I think it's just going to download Warzone, and then you have like the digital access key to access the Modern Warfare content. But now you got to download all the new data packs, because the campaign, these are like 15 and 20 gig packs that you're downloading. So you're basically re-downloading all the content again. They probably compressed the file sizes.
Yeah.
So, if only we could just play it off the disc that we bought 2.5 years ago. Oh well.
I know.
Yeah, it would be so much.
And I know
easier.
that a Blu-ray disc can hold so much storage too. It's somewhere like if you play your cards right, it's somewhere around 100 gigabytes, I think. You might be able to get out of a disc. Because I saw the compression rates. It was like, I think on average, people go for around 50 gigs.
Well, I think you know what? Actually, I think Modern Warfare itself was like 100 gigs at launch, because I think.
But you had to download it all. There was nothing you could just.
They had like I think they had the campaign on disc, and then the multiplayer and stuff you had to download. And then, because I got it at the midnight release and was working on downloading stuff, and I didn't get to play it for like a whole 12 hours or something like that. I had to go to classes and stuff and couldn't actually play anything until like the next day. So I think the campaign was on the disc, which was probably like 50 gigs, and then the multiplayer was so large that they had you download it, and Spec Ops on top of that. Because I downloaded, it installed and everything, and it's like, all right, here's your day one patch update, and I finally got the game turned. I'm like, all right, let's play a Spec Ops mission.
What all are we going to be doing?
I got to play multiplayer probably, just to say, hey, I played something, and then it was like, all right, you got to download these packs. I'm like, are you kidding me? It was super dumb. Yeah. Loka and I were messaging each other back and forth that night, going, why can't we just play it? This is so dumb.
So are we going to be messing with like Spec Ops and all that crap, or are we just going to be doing multiplayer and Warzone? Just trying to figure out what all I should download and what all
I would imagine. I mean, Loka, obviously it's your streaming doing it, but based on what we had talked about before, I was thinking it was just going to be multiplayer, because Warzone
that's what
is not indicative of Modern Warfare anymore. It's all Vanguard, so it wouldn't really make much sense to do that. So probably you could probably just download
multiplayer. Why is there a multiplayer in Spec Ops pack? I don't want that.
I think you need it.
You do.
It's dumb.
Oh, and there's not enough free space. Because it's a PS4.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, have fun with that. I've still got to get the rest of my packs downloaded.
Yep. Also, I'm seeing the store page for this, and apparently they're showing off trailers with Pete Davidson and Steve Aoki, the guy who did the crappy Sonic.
Yeah.
Sonic. Oh.
Yeah, no, I sent Loka
and now
the
he's
link
doing
to the Pete Davidson one. Yeah,
is it pretty bad?
Oh yeah, they're bad. They're funny, but I did think the Pete Davidson one was actually funny, because he's like, oh, how's this working? He's holding an RPG.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, that's actually kind of funny, especially considering how much of an idiot this guy comes across as in real life. But it was like, I don't know if this is the direction we need to be marketing this particular Call of Duty game in. But every Call of Duty has some sort of funny advertising like that when it comes to the multiplayer stuff. So it's kind of one of those things where it's like, it's I don't particularly care for it, but I mean, this is par for the course, so I'm not really that surprised.
Yeah, my favorite though is a parody one with Angel from 2042.
That's okay. That's just how it works out sometimes.
All right.
Did we not talk about they removed the voice lines?
I did notice that they removed the voice lines at the end.
Which is really sad because Angels was like the only one I liked, and I think that was purely out of irony.
Yeah, it must have been out of irony, because I cringed every time. Don't be sad. This is just how things works out sometimes.
Yeah, I don't mind the voice lines overall, but that was the one where I'm like, okay, there's no way you did not know how this was going to affect people, especially when they lose and they hear that.
You ought to say that at the hospital.
Honestly, I think a lot of the end of round lines can be summed up with mad because bad.
Yeah.
Hot take, but those lines do more to promote toxicity than voice chat.
Yeah.
I will say the only two that didn't bother me like unironically and I kind of liked was just Pike and Falk. I don't know if it was because Pike was like super happy and Falk was just humble-ish. But yeah, I think all the rest suck. Then again, I don't see Irish enough, so Irish and Boris are like the two that never get on there.
What do you? I see Boris all the time, and I'm so sick.
It must be me.
I got so sick and tired of hearing his. Yeah, like that one. That made me like that's probably my least favorite one after Angels.
Yes, Angel does it again. I'm gonna be saying that on my wedding night.
All right, so moving on.
And with that, it's time to end this, whatever this has become. As I said earlier, we will be back on Sunday with some Modern Warfare 2019, primarily focusing on multiplayer, if not 100% focusing on the multiplayer, because we've already covered Warzone and its current state.
Multiple times.
Yeah.
We have?
Well, at least me and Prentice have.
Oh. It's gonna take 6 hours to download this game.
Yep.
Onto my SSD.
Yep.
And speaking of Prentice, he also has its own YouTube channel that
He does.
I would highly recommend checking out. Just today, he put up a video that made me very nostalgic. Speaking of Warzone, with all those Verdansk moments and me going, oh man, I miss Verdansk so much.
Yeah.
So that's something
it
you can
check
out.
So innocent.
Yeah.
So what are they doing for the new, now that I think about it, what are they doing for the new map? Is it going to be Verdansk again? Whatever, because we know they're bringing back Warzone.
No, it's a new map.
Okay. We'll talk more.
We'll discuss that.
Yeah, we'll talk more about it on Sunday, what they're doing. So yeah, do check out Prentice's channel, who has also joined on this session, 0 hour session that is really 2.5 hour session.
Yep.
Oh, I didn't realize that was the awkward silence out, because I didn't realize that was my cue in for the outro.
Yeah, so I realized it wasn't the clearest.
I'll just leave it with this, where with the cycle of Battlefield games, how things go, we are now over the hump of everyone hates this game and this is the worst thing to ever grace humankind, and we are now in the, oh, you know what? This isn't actually that bad, and DICE has a really good dev team when EA leaves them alone phase. So I'm glad that we're here, because it's always annoying being in that first phase. So, well, actually, I'll say that's the second phase, because the hyping ourselves up thinking that things are going to be different this time phase is actually the first phase, and that's probably the worst, because I see everyone getting hyped. I'm like, you realize this is going to turn out bad at first, right? And now finally we're in the things can only get better phase. I always like being here. It's always fun being here, finally. So.
Yep.
So that's it for me. I'm done.
And we've been joined by Daxter as well.
Sila jest.
Where's my gun?
Aha! You can't shoot me. We're not even in the same lobby.
And yeah, I hope you enjoyed watching this stream and the discussion and the gameplay of the new 2042 map. I realized playing about 2 hours on the same map can be a little, I don't know, but at least for me, I've actually been enjoying that because I do like the map compared with the rest of the bunch. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching this. Don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, all that great stuff. Especially now since I've finally got back to putting videos up. Since
Yay!
I have an actual computer to work with. You can also follow me on Twitter at LokaCola. A link is in the description down below. And until next time, this is where I would leave with one of those cringy 2042 lines, but I don't know which one to go with, so I'm not gonna go with
And they're
either
dead
of
anyway.
them.
Those lines
And
are
they're
dead anyway.
dead,
So,
bye!
What's the... Why?